What's going on, family? Hey, guys. Hi. Let's get our refreshing pin on here right now. You guys doing all right today? Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm so glad to see all of you. Hello. We are going to dive right on in. Hi, everybody. You know, I'm always so glad to see all of you. Today we've got a really another exciting chat for you. We're going to be talking again, continuing our conversation through Refresh by KF, my lifestyle brand. And so we've got just a fantastic chat lined up for you again. If you were here last week, send us a wave and show us that you were here last week. We were talking about intimacy and just different aspects of it. You know, sometimes we can just make it really one dimensional, and there's so many facets and assets about intimacy. And so we're going to be continuing the conversation. Again, if you're new to all of this, for me, I am doing these chats through my lifestyle brand, Refresh by KF. And so if you don't already follow us, good afternoon, Jason. You just said I made your week with that, so have a good week. But anyway, guys, if you are not following Refresh by KF, please do. Is this on an angle? Is that sloping down a bit? There we go. Okay. And so Refresh by KF, go ahead and jump out and follow us and come on back in, and we will get started. So today we're going to be talking about food and cooking and just how that plays a role or can play a role with intimacy. And so we also have not only our celebrity chef, my brother Pat Neely, joining us, but then we're also going to be talking about movement and dance. And the glorious, gorgeous Kylie is going to be joining us. She's a phenomenal ballet dancer, Insta star. And so we are really excited to talk to both of them again in terms of food and cooking and movement and dance, and just how some of these things can certainly impact and affect and maybe set the tone for different types of intimacy. And so as I started out last week with a quote from our mindfulness friend, Corey Mascara, and Corey's going to be joining us next month for some things as well. But one thing that Corey said that I always found so interesting, he says, we have a very complicated relationship with pleasure. And I always thought that was so interesting because we end up feeling either like our upbringing, our childhood, our religious backgrounds, our cultural facets to us. All these different things can inform how we view pleasure. And guys, we're not just talking about sexual intimacy or sexual pleasure, but all kinds, you know. So we're going to really be covering a lot of things today. So I'm thrilled that you guys are joining us. So we will dive right on in. Hey, Harlem Candle Company. It is so good to see you. Love you guys. Lord in heaven knows candles can be a beautiful set the tone vibe for intimacy. And so shout out to our dear friend and partner, Harlem Candle Company. So guys, let's start right on in. Let's see, Pat Neely. Let's see, Pat, can you send me a wave or a hello or something, brother, so that I can get you in the room? Thank you, Harlem Candle Company. So happy to see you too. Let's see here. I'm still waiting on you, Pat, to be able to say hello so I can get you in the room. Topics of substance. I love it. Well, thank you, Tracy. Yes, we definitely try to bring some meaningful topics and conversation. Always going to be fun and hopefully enlightening and intriguing, thought-provoking even. Hi, Vancouver and Sebastian Billingsley Rodriguez and family. I love you guys and I hope to see you soon. Go live with Barbecue King. Here he comes, you guys. Am I ever mistaken for Janet Jackson? That is quite a compliment, and yes. Hey, brother!
Hey, my baby, how you doing?
Look at you on your kingly throne.
Oh, I'm in my office. I had to tell you, you look so beautiful. I miss you so much, my
Oh,
sister.
thank you,
This,
brother. I miss you too. You've been doing okay?
I've been doing good. This doggone pandemic, me and you ain't been able to hang out and see each other, but
I
I'm
know.
doing really, really good, Kim. How are you, sweetie?
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, the grilled cheese sandwiches that I made earlier today came out very well.
You
And I
did
cleaned
you
up after myself.
You know, that's what I was getting ready to ask you. Did you clean? That's something that a lot of folks don't know much about. But, when Kim and I used to talk, she used to tell me, I don't like to cook because, I just get stuff all over the place. And I said, baby, you have to clean as you go. And if you wipe and wash a few pots as you go, your kitchen never gets nasty.
Yes.
So ever since then, and she, you even will send me a text of a picture of her kitchen after she got through cleaning, y'all, to make sure she doing like her big brother told her.
That's right. Like my big brother taught me.
Right.
Absolutely. Well,
Good to
thank you
see
for
you,
joining
sweetie.
us. Everybody, Pat Neely is in the building.
Yes, yes,
Woo!
yes.
Yes,
Wouldn't
yes,
miss it.
yes. So glad to
Wouldn't
see you,
miss it.
brother.
Wouldn't miss it. And such a great topic. I'm so excited to dive right in.
Yes.
You
So,
know?
one thing I love that we have always talked about is cooking. It just takes on so many different components.
Yes.
There's of course
Yes.
the element of taking care of yourself when you are doing something that you know is going to be good for you or for your
Right.
family,
Right.
that you've made with your hands.
Right.
But I definitely love, and we've talked about this as parents and different relationships that we
Right.
have, what an impact the process of cooking can be. Now, guys, don't get it twisted. Even though Pat is a world-renowned celebrity chef, and I'm not, we're not trying to just have you feel all insecure like, well, I can't do that, I can just boil
Right.
water.
Right.
Listen, you can make ramen and it'd be a phenomenal
Right.
experience in terms of the
Right.
process. And so that's
Right.
what we wanted to talk to you guys, to you about
Right.
today, and also for Kylie the dancer, who's going to be
Right.
joining us shortly.
Right.
So for you, what can you talk about the process with cooking and the connection with cooking and intimacy?
Well, you know what? This goes way back to when I was a youngster working for my uncle before I even opened my first restaurant. And he used to tell me, he said, one of the most intimate things you can do is prepare food for someone. He
Mm.
said, and I've lived by this. If you're running a restaurant or even at home cooking, imagine putting something together that someone literally is going to put in their mouth. I
Hmm.
mean, nothing can be more intimate than that. I mean, nothing
Hmm.
can be more intimate than what you're getting ready to eat. You're putting it
Hmm.
in your mouth, one of the
Right.
most sacred places, parts of your body. And
Hmm.
so that always stuck with me. Like when I'm preparing food or whatever, hey, this has got to be very special. Now, like you
Mm.
said, very special doesn't necessarily mean I'm making the most fantastic dish.
Right.
But what it does mean is how you show passion, how you pour your heart and soul into whatever it is. It could be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But if you
Hmm.
take that sandwich and you say, instead of just making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'm going to stick it in the toaster first.
Hmm.
And then I'm going to put the peanut butter on, which the toast is hot, and the peanut butter is going to kind of glide on and it's going to kind of melt. And then I'm going to top it with that jelly, and then I'm going to put the top on. Now,
Hmm.
before I serve it, there's a process.
Mm.
I'm going to cut that baby.
Hmm.
You speak of grilled cheese, and I was telling you earlier, I just made it 2 days ago for my kids. And Tamika thinks it's so funny, my wife, that when I prepare their plates, it's like a work of art for me. It's
Mm.
not just slapping it on. So when
Hmm.
I made my kids grilled cheese, and this is daily because they're home now, Kim, and they're virtual learning and those sorts of things.
Hmm.
When I make their plates, it's very special for me because they're my joy, they're my heart, and I want it to be
Yes.
perfect for them. So just the other day, cut the grilled cheese in half for my son. He can eat the whole half slices. Um, Ariel is 2.5, so I cut hers in quarters.
Mm,
And then I arrange them a certain way on a plate.
mhm,
Then they had some little Cheetos. Then they have oranges. They always got to have fruit for lunch. So when
mhm,
I peel the oranges, Kim, I cut them just like it's a circle. I cut it in the
mhm,
center so it opens up almost like a butterfly. And
mhm.
for Ariel, we always have grapes, and sometimes I even slice her grapes in half. So all of that is a part of intimacy, right? Because I'm not just throwing their food together, and their mom's plate is a true masterpiece. Valentine's Day, she got roses, so I made her breakfast in bed, and she had the omelet and all of that. And I just grabbed one of the roses out of the vase on the table and served it in bed. But the rose, I snipped one of the roses and I put it on. So the point of the matter is, and this is for anybody, it could be for your mom or your kids or your significant other, whoever. All of that is a part of intimacy, the whole process, and then
Mhm.
how you serve it. So
Mhm.
I take a lot of pride in that. And so I think
Yes.
presentation of your meal
Right, right.
is a big part of intimacy as well.
So, and that's exactly what I wanted to get to, that like you were saying, presentation. I remember one time I made Quincy some oatmeal, and this is my dear friend Ginger Z from
Uh-huh.
GMA. She loves this video, so I sent
Uh-huh.
I sent her this video, and I posted it a long time ago. With I made Quincy a bowl of oatmeal,
Uh-huh.
and I put raisins in it and made a smiley
Uh-huh.
face. And I was like, "Do
Uh-huh.
you like your
Uh-huh.
smiley face oatmeal?" And he was like, "Yes." And I said, "Are you gonna eat it?" And he goes, "No."
He just wanted to look at it like, I'm not gonna eat this, mom.
Exactly,
Give me that
exactly.
other bowl over there with the raisins just
Right.
dumped all in there, but we're just gonna
Right.
look at this one, right?
Right. Exactly. So presentation, we know, is such a big part. You can take
Right,
certain spices that have colors and
right,
sprinkle it on
right,
a plate.
right,
You can
right,
take like a sauce, a chocolate sauce, a caramel sauce,
right,
whatever,
right,
and spread it around,
right,
and
right,
sauces and all of that stuff.
right, right,
And so that's great in terms of presentation. Now sometimes,
right,
real talk, you are just slapping it on the plate,
right,
and
right,
and
right,
and there's somebody to look at you crazy
right,
because what's on the tip right here of your
right.
tongue, you better be grateful.
Right. We have to do that with our kids sometimes. I don't want that. Boy, don't you know folks don't have nothing to eat? You better eat this broccoli. And
Right,
I'm not putting no
exactly.
olive oil on it. I ain't putting nothing on it. It came right out of the
Right,
pot onto your
exactly,
plate.
exactly.
Right, right,
So we do know that presentation is a beautiful part of
right,
intimacy,
right,
whether it's how you present. And here's the thing, guys, first and foremost for you, because we do have a lot of people that are in the room that may not be in a relationship,
right,
it's just about them. And
right.
so they are, thank you. And so they are, looking at, well, how does this apply to me? How do you present yourself to yourself? Ooh, God, Jesus, I am
You
speaking to
better say
myself
it,
right
girl.
now.
But you know what, Kim? It doesn't have to be for anyone but yourself. Listen,
Uh-huh.
sometimes the wife and the kids are gone, and even when I prepare my plate,
Mm-hmm.
I prepared with a certain amount of intimacy.
Mm.
And some of it has to come from the restaurant background
Mm.
because presentation was so important, and when I did it so much that even now when I do it for myself, then
Yes.
I make it special. But food and intimacy, they really go hand in hand. Case in
Mm-hmm.
point, my mother about a year and a half ago had to have knee surgery and she had to have knee replacement. So I went back to Memphis and I was there for a week and stayed at the hospital. But I knew she would not be able to really cook for herself. And I have to send you the picture at some point. So I
Mm-hmm.
cooked oxtail stew, chili. I cooked, I think, a chicken Alfredo and something else. I cooked all these dishes, and I even have
Uh-huh.
pictures of all these pots going on the stove. And then after it was completed, I put them all in little Tupperwares. I went to Walmart or somewhere, bought a bunch of little Tupperwares.
Mm-hmm.
I labeled them, put them in
Mm-hmm.
her freezer, so that she would have food for. She had food for maybe this was like November to after the first of the year. So she could
Wow.
just, go and get her
Mhm.
something out the freezer. They were
Yes.
labeled, they were stacked in. And that was
Mhm.
intimacy. That was my way of showing my love for her.
Mm.
Well, I can't really do nothing, Mama. I can't stay here forever. But one thing I
Mhm.
can leave with is the fact
Yeah.
that I prepared you all these dishes. You don't have to
Yes.
worry about it. I knew I could come back home. It was getting ready to be winter
Mhm.
time, and you'd have all these savory, warm dishes. So,
Mhm.
oftentimes I tell people it's you're absolutely right. It's not about your partner as much
Right.
as it is all of your loved ones. One of
Yes.
the things that I want to encourage everybody to do is all of my social media platforms is Pat Neely BBQ King here on Instagram, Facebook. But I started something during the pandemic, first part of last year on
Mhm.
YouTube, where I created all of these videos.
Yes.
And a lot of them are videos of me and the family cooking together. And to
Yes.
me, the most adorable one is pizza night, which we do every Friday. And it's me, Tamika, and the kids. And we end up having to make it like 3 or 4 pizzas.
Wait a minute. Pause right there. Now let's be clear on your
Yeah.
version of pizza night and our version of pizza night.
It's the same, Kim. It's the
Your version,
same.
you mean you like you? I bet you there's a rolling pin involved, isn't there?
Yes, there
See right there.
is.
Stop.
But but
Stop.
but I gotta be honest. Now my kids are not fans of the old-fashioned dough. So
Mm-hmm.
we will buy the store-bought dough for them. It's the circular
Imagine that.
deal.
Now I
Yes, I
support
mean.
businesses, and so I will get it delivered.
But Kim, here's the thing. It is so much fun for you to get there with the boys and let them make their own pizza. I encourage everybody to go to YouTube and check that one out.
Now
Ariel's
that's
eating the
true. That's true.
cheese, and it's so simple because I get
Yeah.
store bought a pizza sauce. It's real
Mm-hmm.
quick, and you put a little olive oil on your dough, then you go with your pizza sauce and the cheese, and it's into the oven because they want cheese pizza. Now,
Yes.
Tamika wants veggie, so
Mm-hmm.
I slice up some bell peppers and some onions and that sort of, but I got to have meat. So then I have meat. So we make three. But here's
Mm-hmm.
something real cute. So then we started with these videos, and my mom just happened to be in town. So she and I made her famous sakatimi cake. And so
Oh.
it's also on there. So me and my mom
Okay.
are actually cooking together. Um,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
that's
then
wonderful.
Ariel, yeah, and then Ariel and I made a fruit pizza, which, there was kiwi and stuff everywhere. But that's intimacy because, I'm telling you about cooking with my mom, cooking with the
Yes.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that can enhance intimacy when you're in the kitchen is music or
Mm.
maybe a glass of wine.
Uh-huh.
You pour your
Uh-huh.
glass of wine, you get real relaxed. I mean, I
Yes.
always consider my kitchen like my sanctuary. It's a
Uh-huh.
place where it's really calm,
Yeah.
cool. There's no stress. And people need to learn to take the stress out of cooking
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
You're gonna make, I still make mistakes. I still make tons of mistakes. I mean, one of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest mistakes I made is that I have not learned the intimacy when it comes to my children in terms of vegetables because when I make green beans, I like pepper, salt, and seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
So the intimacy that comes from Tamika is I'll put the green beans on the plate. When I leave out of the room, she'll take them off their plate and run water on them and put them back on the plate. You got too much pepper on. So, so there goes great green
You ain't
beans,
even
right?
in the room.
I mean, she waits till I leave, and then she takes and rinses off all of the pepper
Yes.
and all of the spices off because she says the kids think they're too hot. I said, he still ain't eating them, or some. So he's still not eating them. You rinse them. Ariel's
Right, right, right,
devouring
right,
hers,
right.
so it's,
Yes, yes.
he's not eating them because they're green beans.
Right, right, right. So we've got a few different things here, guys. And so if
Sure.
you're just now tuning in, this is, of course, Mr. Pat Neely, celebrity chef, TV star, foodie, barbecue king, restaurateur,
No.
entrepreneur. And so we're talking about intimacy. And somebody said, I thought you was going to be talking about sex. Well, for a number of people around the globe, food and food preparation, food
Yes.
presentation And certain foods themselves are definitely a part of a sexual
Yes.
conversation or experience,
Yes.
um, experimenting, all of that stuff.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But,
Right.
we don't want to just bring y'all the typical. Y'all have known
Right.
me a long time, and I am not typical. And I don't like doing
Say it.
things that are typical. And I'm not
Say
going to
it.
bring y'all nobody that's typical. And we ain't going to
Yep.
talk about typical shit. So
Preach,
that
my
to me
sister.
is so those kinds of things to me are a given in terms
Yeah.
of course we know everybody that has seen 9.5 weeks or
Right.
whatever movies that you have or
Right.
whatever experiences or experimenting articles you've read,
Right.
things that you just might want to try, like, ooh, what about
Right.
this? Oh,
Right.
well, I'm in the grocery store. What, let me try this.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Do you
Right.
you got
Right.
one life to live.
Right. Right.
Live that thing, baby.
You better do it.
Live it.
You
And
better
so
do it.
if being in the kitchen is a part of living,
Yes.
food is not just sustenance, right,
Right.
Kat?
Right. Right. It's not, and it's about passion. It's about things that you really enjoy doing,
Mm-hmm.
that brings joy to you and bring a smile. I mean, since the pandemic, Kim, I'm literally cooking like 3 meals a day. But I enjoy it. It's not a big
Mm-hmm.
deal for me. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, and it goes back to intimacy. Yesterday, my wife, she was at work, and she says, I want a turkey burger for dinner. Now, there are several ways you can do a turkey burger. You can roll it and you can put it in a skillet, or if you got a George Foreman grill or you got a gas grill. I don't want to fool with the gas grill, so I went all out because, as you know, it was really pretty here yesterday. Got some charcoal. I got a much smaller grill. I put them on the grill. Yeah, and I was busy. I had a bunch of other stuff going on, but I took
Mm-hmm.
the time to do it because when I'm preparing food for people that I really, really care about, I really
Mm-hmm.
want it to be special.
Yeah.
And I think that, sometimes even if they don't really enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
but they understand the effort that you put into it, then
Yeah.
that's a part of intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that I'm planning to do this year is, I got a lot of property down there and I've been procrastinating for the last 2 or 3 years, but I'm really thinking about starting a garden. And I've got a space
You
large
haven't
enough
done
to
that yet?
do.
I thought you did
I
that like
have
2 years
not.
ago.
I know, Kim. I've been procrastinating. Last year or the year before, I did some little plants on the patio, but I'm really thinking about getting the industrial tiller and really tilling it up. I mean, it's pretty huge. And you know what I thought about first about it?
Mm.
First of all, you're growing from the ground, which can be very relaxing when you're out there. Even if you don't have the space that I have, and you got pots and stuff, and you're doing some on your patio, just watching them grow and then
Yes.
cooking. But more importantly, at the age now with my children, to be able to go out there with them
Mm-hmm.
and do something different than the iPads, and
Yes.
they're watching, collard greens grow or cucumbers and things of that nature.
Yes.
We do have fruit trees, and
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years, last summer, I think we went out and we picked pears and peaches. And then
Mm-hmm.
to make it even more intimate, we grabbed the
Mm-hmm.
peaches, brought them in, and we made peach ice cream. you
Oh,
know
okay.
and here's something that I'll share with everyone when they want to think about being intimidated by cooking. Google it. You can Google Pat Neely and pound cake, or Pat Neely and
Mm-hmm.
collard greens or chili or whatever, and there's a recipe there because
Mm-hmm.
I've got so many of them. So you don't have to try to reinvent the wheel or figure it out by yourself, because now
Mm-hmm.
with the internet, there's so many ways that you can
Yes.
cook. And it's a to me, it's really a way of showing love. And it's also a
Mm.
way that if you can involve your family or your loved ones in the kitchen with you, that
Yes.
that is very intimate, because
Mm-hmm.
what happens is you're preparing a dish, but then the conversation starts. I mean, you've never seen two people in the kitchen and they're not talking,
Right.
you know,
Speak on
and
it.
and
Speak on it.
and then most of the times it goes into so many different areas. And this is really important for children, because when my older girls were young, check this out. I used to pick them up from school. How was your day? Okay, what y'all do? Nothing. Well, what's going on? Nothing. But then when we got home, I would, get ready to start on dinner, and I'd be like, Spencer and Shelby, come in. Look, I want you to wash your hands, and Shelby, I want you to get the potatoes out, and Spencer, you get the lettuce out over here. And then before long, well, see, now you start doing this, you start doing that, and I'll start doing this. Then for long, guess what? Daddy, guess what Travis did today at school? The next thing you
Yes.
know, we're into a full-blown conversation that I couldn't get in the car ride on the way home. I certainly wasn't gonna get it if I went in their bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed and say, "Tell me about your day." You know,
Right.
telling daddy shit. But if I got them in the
Right.
kitchen and we got busy and we were making a deal together,
Yes.
I'll tell you something we used to do, Kim. I used to make everybody in my house have a night to cook. And Spencer, my oldest, she took the easy way out. She'd get a can of sloppy Joe Brown, some ground beef, and throw it in there. No seasoning, no nothing. Here y'all go. This my night. It's covered. Shelby was much younger and a lot more like me. Daddy, I'm frying chicken and I'm gonna make some spinach. Girl, who gonna help you? That ain't my day is off. But I would go in there. Yeah, she go in there with her flour and the oil and stuff. Of course, I'd have to go in there with her. But it
Right.
became a ritual, and it became something. And then their mom would cook a night, and I would cook a night that we all look forward to,
Right.
because. And then the kids got into it because how does that taste, Daddy? Did I
Yes.
do a good job, Daddy? So
Mhm.
all of that is intimacy, and those are things that I've done
Yes.
over the years that I really want to share with this audience. That especially during times now
Yeah.
that you really can do that is something a little bit different, gets
Mhm.
everybody away from their devices,
Yes.
and we get in the kitchen. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to see a video of your boys sitting there cooking.
Well, you know what? When we went up earlier today, I forgot to send you one. So
Uh-huh.
Quincy, well,
Uh-huh.
two things. So when you mentioned the George Foreman grill,
Uh-huh.
Sebastian wanted one for either Christmas or his birthday.
Really?
Yes, sir. And so he really takes a great deal of pride in cooking up some turkey hot dogs,
Wow.
a grilled cheese, and that sort of thing.
Wow. Tell him to
And
call his Uncle Pat and I'm gonna walk him through a panini. We're gonna get some
absolutely,
ham and we're gonna get some
absolutely.
bunch of
Yes,
stuff and
sir.
I'm gonna
Yes,
I,
sir.
I, I
Well,
got one.
he
He
loves
and
it.
I can
Yeah.
FaceTime and cook it together.
Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. And
Yes.
Quincy, so he and Quincy loves being y'all. I had to tell Quincy, y'all can see. Look, the door. Well, my office is a little messy right now, but see, the doors are closed
I know,
because
girl, mine the same
Quincy,
way. He'll come in, won't
Quincy will come rolling up in here in a heartbeat. And I said, well, we're gonna be talking about some grown folks stuff today.
he?
And he
Right.
said, okay, well, that's fine.
Right.
Anyway, so
Bye, mama.
But Quincy loves to be in the kitchen, and so he has
Wow.
started Q's Famous Kitchen,
Oh
and
man.
he does smoothies, PB and J's.
Really?
He just did cinnamon rolls, and so he
Really?
loves to walk you through what the steps are, what the
Oh,
ingredients
that's
are, and all
cool.
of that. So he's now a part of the Refresh digital team.
All right, then. He
And
got to
he
get with
loves
Uncle Pat.
gardening. And when you talked about gardening, he has been
Mm.
itching for the springtime to come because he's
Really?
got some seeds for like basil and
Uh-huh.
thyme and
Uh-huh.
rosemary. And he
Yes.
wants to do a
Yes.
little garden and stuff.
Yes.
So absolutely, it gets them off of the
Yes.
devices. It definitely enhances, like you said, that kind of conversation time. And
Yes.
it definitely is a different form of
Yes.
intimacy,
And it gives them a
absolutely.
sense of pride.
Yes.
It gives them a real sense of pride. And
Hmm.
and and please follow through. And I can help you with the herbs. My mother does them still to this day every year, planting them and getting them started. And I think you're getting really close to time to
Hmm.
start them. I think you even start them in the house in
Yep.
little bitty pots, and then
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on you can take them out. But just to
Okay.
watch them grow, and then after they
Yes.
grow, he can take them and put them in jars for the
Hmm.
winter and let them really get crisp and all of
Yeah.
that. But that's a
Hmm.
real sense of pride, and I'm happy for my little nephew. I didn't know he was just turning into a little chef.
Absolutely.
That is,
Absolutely.
but you get it, and so many other people I'm sure get it.
Yeah.
That is all of that is intimacy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, all of that is intimacy. I mean, it
exactly.
truly is, and it's been my life forever. And I'm passionate about food, as you know.
Yes.
But I think it's something that so many people that may not be can understand and feel this sense of enjoyment out of it.
Mhm.
Don't look at cooking. You know, you and I used to have this conversation a long time ago about don't look at cooking as a chore. Look
Yes.
at it as a hobby or something that you really enjoy. Now,
Hmm.
I'm way over the top. You know, when I get up in the morning, I go out in my garage in my freezer and start
Yeah.
looking at meats and stuff that I'm gonna take out for that day or whatever that I'm gonna cook. But
Right.
you don't have to be as psychotic as I am about it. But you can,
Yeah.
you can still enjoy yourself with it. You really can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Pat, thank you so much for being
Thank
here,
you,
sharing all of
sweetie.
your wonderful stories. Again, guys, you
Yes,
can
yes,
certainly find him at Pat Neely BBQ King.
yes.
Definitely subscribe to his channel. He's got some
Yeah.
fantastic videos,
Thank
not just
you.
tutorials and how-tos with the actual instructions of
Right.
cooking, but some
Right.
wonderful, inspiring
There
tutorials
you
in
go. That's
terms
what
of
it's really
how
about.
to engage, how to be
Yes.
engaging while you're cooking.
Right.
So thank you, brother. I love you.
Love you too, sweetie. You look beautiful.
Thank
I
you,
can't wait till
sir.
this stuff is over, when we can all get together and hang out. But you tell Quincy that Uncle Pat is really thinking about starting that garden. He
I
just got to
will.
get off his lazy butt and make it happen.
Well, he's got
Love
a real
you.
garden in his room right now. He's got a little
Really.
greenhouse in his room and stuff. And when he was on the live a
Wow.
few weeks ago, he came and showed everybody his plants. But I
Well, you
will
make sure you
tell,
text me or tell him to FaceTime me, and him can catch up.
I sure will. I sure will.
Love you,
Love you,
sweetie. I'm gonna
brother.
continue to tune in. I'll
Thank
tune
you.
in for the rest of the show. Take
Yes,
care,
please.
baby.
Thank you, guys. Coming up next, we've got Kylie, a gorgeous, amazing ballerina, and we're going to be talking about dance and movement. Thanks, Pat. Love you, brother.
Bye, sweetie. Bye
All right.
bye.
Bye. Okay, it's not letting me okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, wasn't that fantastic? So we are ready. We're just going to just keep this party train going. Wave at me if you are enjoying this. Wave at me if you are getting some good stuff out of this.